Hi there, welcome back. In this lesson I'm going to be showing you how to animate flight data onto your newly created globe. The first thing you're going to have to do is click on the link to the Google document that I've got in the YouTube page below, and it will take you to this page. Now what you need to do is basically download this as a CSV file. So just File, Download as, comma separated values, and save this file. Okay, now basically what it is a CSV with origin and destination, the origin being London Heathrow Airport and the destination being various airports around the world. It's got the origin, latitude and longitude here and here, and then the destination, longitude and latitude. Now this geom is basically what QGIS can read this, and it will draw a line from this point, latitude, longitude, to this point. So this is what this geom column is going to be. This is what we're going to use when we import this CSV into QGIS. So what it should do is draw lines from Heathrow to the destination. And this offset lat and offset long is what the animation tool plugin MMQGIS reads in order to know how to animate the dots from London Heathrow to the various airports. Okay, so that's enough explanation. Let's load in the CSV. So we've got our globe here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of the grid lines because I don't think we need them for this. So I'm just going to save that, and now I'm going to create a new document and import the CSV. Just going to browse to downloads, and there's that CSV. And you'll notice that it recognises the geom field here, and this is what it's going to draw. So when I OK that onto QGIS 84, you'll basically see a load of lines. Now this is all of the airport destinations from Heathrow in the middle. So what we want to do now is load in the MMQGIS plugin. So just type in MM, that's the one there, install that, and there you see it here in your menu. So the first thing we want to do is to delete duplicate geometries, because that spreadsheet has some airports have multiple flights to the same place. There's no point having one line on top of the other, so that just creates a larger file. So select delete duplicate geometries, and just browse to the folder. Sorry, wrong folder. Old master for globe. So I'm just going to call this flight paths simple. Just save that and OK that. And it's added it to the stage here, you can see here. So now I'm just going to get rid of the first one. We don't need that anymore. Now what we need to do now, in order to make these lines bend around the globe, similar to like we did with the grid lines on our globe, we have to densify the points. So it's under vector, densify geometries, and I'm going to add 50. OK that. And there we have, it's added a lot more points onto our path. So save that. Okay, so now we've got our simple paths done. We need to add it back into our globe. Load that up. Okay, so now we need to add in that shapefile. So flight path simple, open, and don't forget you need to simplify geometries if you're wondering why it looks like a complete mess. So simplify geometry, and there we go. So now we've got our paths going around the globe. Now what we need to do now is just to clip these paths so that they're clipped to the globe, similar to how we clipped the borders and the countries before. So we've got our clip disk here already. So all we need to do is vector geoprocessing clip, and we just want to clip our flight paths to the clip disk. And I'm just going to call this flight paths clipped. Save that, add the result to canvas. So we can delete our simple one and move that to the top. And again, simplify geometries. Okay, so now we have our flight paths clipped. So what we need to do now is save this as a CSV. So, comma separated value. Flight paths, whoops, CSV. Okay, that. And now we need to basically bring it back in. So browse to desktop, world master, orthoglow, flight path CSV. Now this time we want to set our X and Y, the lat and long, to the origin lat and long. So origin long and origin lat. And OK there. WGS 84, it's OK. And what you'll see is, let's just turn the clipped parts off, is a dot in the middle. Now that's exactly what we want. We're wondering why there's only one dot. It's because the origin lat long is exactly the same for every dot. It's basically all the dots have been added to London Heathrow. So now we've got our dots in, what we need to do now is animate them. But first I'm just going to change some styles on here just to make this globe look a little bit better. So first thing I want to do is just make the globe a bit darker. Change that to 20. Make the globe a bit darker, and I'm just going to add a colour to the clip disk. Just give it a nice grey. About 50 should do it. There we go, and obviously the lakes I need to make the same colour as the sea, so change that to 50. There we go. And what I want to do, just for a more dramatic effect, is change the background colour to black, just to make our globe look a bit more dramatic. Now before I start animating these dots, we need to save this CSV flight path layer as a shapefile. So I'm just going to call this flight dots. And we'll just save this in our same folder as all the other layers. And turn that layer off and then load in our newly saved layer. For some reason it's saved as untitled, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so there's our dots. So I just want to change this to a nice orange, because I think the orange will stand out really nicely against the grey. A nice bright orange. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so there's our dots. Now before we do the animation, just one thing you should bear in mind is the size of your canvas here is the size that it's going to create your animation at. Now I think this is a little bit large purely for the purposes of a tutorial, because the bigger the file, the longer it takes. So I'm just going to make it a bit smaller. There. Okay, so that's about right. So MMQGIS, animate, and animate columns. The untitled layer, which should be called flight dots, but for some reason I didn't take the name. And then browse to where you want to save it. Now I created a folder called frames. So I'm going to use that. OK that. And what that should do is quickly run through the animation and create 50 separate PNGs, which we will then take into Photoshop and animate. Okay, and here they all are. So there's the first one, and there's the last one. So what we want to do is take the first frame into Photoshop so it creates the right canvas size, and then all we want to do is just take all of the others. So hold down Shift key, select them all, and just drag them onto your stage, and just hit enter. Keep hitting enter until they've all been placed. And you can actually see while I'm hitting enter, you get an idea of what it's going to be looking like once I've run the animation as an animated GIF. A few more. Okay, so if you check out your layers, you'll see your 50 frames in here. Okay, so next thing we need to do is bring up our timeline. So timeline here, just make this window a bit smaller so you can see it. It comes up at the bottom. So there's our timeline with one frame in it. So just click on this little drop down menu here and choose make frames from layers. And what that'll do is it will add in all of your frames, all 50 frames, or 51 because it starts at 0. Now what you want to do is just click on the last one, hold down the Shift key and click on the first one so they're all selected. Then click on this little triangle here next to the 0 seconds, select other and do 0.02 seconds as the time delay. And on the last frame, and only the last frame, change it to 2 seconds. I think this just looks better so that it just pauses on the last frame for a bit before starting again. So now you've set your timings, save for web, which is the handy Command-Alt-Shift-S. You want to save it as a GIF. And animation looping options forever. We'll just save this. I'm going to save this as flight animation in my Ortho Globe folder. Okay, so let's save that now. And just to preview it, just go to any browser window and literally just drag it onto your browser. And there you can see the dot's lovely animation of the flights going around the globe. I hope you enjoyed this one. Next lesson I'm going to show you how to do the same animation but using lines. So those flight paths that we loaded in earlier, I'm going to show you how to animate those using the MMQGIS animate lines function.